Hey guys, I don't even know how this works. First time in my life that I go live. So if you have any questions, I'm gonna be here. Perhaps I can help you. You let me know. I don't even know how this works. So I did a podcast recently, actually 2 days ago, and I did it with a Cuban friend of mine. His name is Alvaro, and he does a lot of foodie vlogs and foodie content here in Cuba. Basically, he documents the food in Cuba and the restaurants and everything related to Cuba and the food in Cuba. So I thought that it was interesting because we were talking a lot about the food in Cuba, the restaurants, the places where you can go, the places that you shouldn't go, and after that conversation, we ended up talking for over, I don't know, 45 minutes, and it was great. So besides that podcast, I did another one where I was talking about how you could actually exchange your money, and I would say the steps that you need to follow if you want to do it correctly. I might doing correctly is not going to the bank, is by exchanging the money in some places like restaurants, blah blah blah. You can go and watch it. So in this live, I'm gonna try to help you as much as I can. If you have any further questions, you let me know in the comments down below. Today I'm gonna have a really busy day. I have a photo shoot. For those of you who are new here to the channel, I also do photos. Actually, the first, at the beginning of this channel, I used to do photo shoots here in Havana. Tons of people, tons of clients talking about visiting Cuba in 2018, and I was doing photo shoots. So if you plan to visit Cuba, you want me to take some photos, go and check I'm currently in studio, so you can check it out. So you let me know, guys, how can I help you with, and if you have any further questions, you let me know in the comments down below. That's the best way, so I can contact you later. If you have any email where I can send you some help, whatever. I put all the information in the description down below, so you can check it out. You can DM me on Instagram if you have any questions about traveling to Cuba. And something that I want to tell you about is that there's some people visiting Cuba now, a lot more than last year, and hopefully Cuba goes up when it comes to visitors, because I don't know, it's been super complicated to get people here to Cuba because of COVID first, and then because of the regulations, and now because of the shortage. And most of the people who come to Cuba, they go to the Cayos, Varadero, they want to spend a week and they don't want to be struggling, and I understand that. I would do the same. But when it comes to visiting Cuba, and for those of you who are interested on visiting Cuba and share with the locals, I would say that you need to visit Havana. Or if you want to go to the countryside, you could actually do that, and it's going to be the best way to see how the real Cuban life is. And by real, I mean how people live. It's not like going to a luxury place, which I love to do that. I can help you with it to do that, but you can also come here and have a great luxurious experience, and at the same time share with the locals. So that's like a contrast, like 50-50. But yeah, so first live ever here on YouTube. If you want me to do this more often, I can help you with that. And that's the base of this channel, help you guys to visit Cuba. I'm gonna be traveling this year. I'm not gonna say where yet. So I'm currently in is gonna go a step further. We're gonna try to go and have more creators here in Cuba, in Havana specifically, where you can also get some other, I would say, experience, because other creators are going to be telling you more stories, and I think it's going to be interesting. So yeah, that was it. 5 minutes, and you let me know here all the questions that you may have. It was a pleasure, and see you guys in the next let me see how this works. Wait a minute. Ask your community any questions about visiting Cuba. So I'm gonna put a poll here, and if you have any question, you send me there. Okay? I don't even know. Top chat, live chat, super chat. I think this is pretty cool. And yeah, thank you guys. And actually, for those of you who have never visited the channel, this is where I'm currently living. Small house here in town, actually 5 minutes from the airport, very far from Havana. You're doing a great job promoting Cuba. When we will come to Cuba one day, you definitely a great job to you. Take care. Thank you, man. Yeah, I try to do my best. That's what I do. So many people complain about the content that I do. I have to tell you that. They say that, Alex, why don't you show the real Cuba? That's the real data, the real Cuba that I want to show. That I want to share with you guys. And the reason is because when you travel to Cuba, you can either go to the worst places or you can go to the best places. I want to show you the best places. And it's not because I want to support the government or anything related to that. It's because if I want to go to, I don't know, whatever is the country, for example, if you're visiting, I don't know, United States or Canada, or I always compare to those places because that's the main audience that I have, okay? So if I want to go there, I want to see the best places. I don't want to go and see people struggling, because I'm gonna feel bad. And actually, when I had some clients, they went to Cuba and they were saying, hey Alex, I went to this place, this neighborhood, and I felt so bad because people were struggling. Is there any window or possibly when this food shortage will end in Cuba? I have just returned from Memories Flamingo, and there was days without coffee, 2 days were only tomatoes, cucumbers, fruit. Okay, easy, man. Shortage in Cuba is affecting everyone, and if I tell you something, it will be this: do not go to the Cayos, do not go to Varadero, do not go to any resorts right now. It's because the problem is they might have the food, but let me tell you this, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. The workers, the people who work there, they have a lot of how can I say, the right word would be, they need to eat a lot, and they might take some food of those places to take to their home. So if you go there, they don't even care if you're gonna get a good food, because they are not gonna get any money from you. They're gonna get a salary, so they need to get food, and that's what they're gonna get, food for the places. So if you go to a place like Varadero or the Cayos or whatever, they might need food, so they're gonna take it, and you are gonna be feeling the shortage even inside of the places like Cayos, Varadero, and typical hotels. So go to the if you don't want to feel that, go to the Airbnb and try to stay in a boutique hotel where you're gonna have even more privacy and you're gonna have even more quality. And if you want to get even better, you can stay in some luxurious hotel here in Havana. I mean, for so many people, luxurious hotel in Havana is not going to be like any other place in the world, because luxury in Cuba is not luxury, but is top level. You know what I mean? But I don't even know when this shortage is gonna go to an end, because Cuba is always in crisis. I mean, right now we have a crisis with gas, with diesel. Some people are having a lot of blackouts in the countryside, and that's affecting everyone. Actually, here in town in Havana, there's some places where you can have blackouts twice a day. It depends about where do you live. For example, the people who live in Vedado or the people who live in Playa, those are really good neighborhoods. They don't see that. They don't get affected by the blackouts, because they live near to Plaza de la Revolucion, which is a very central place, so they don't see that. And the same with the water and the food is crazy here. Actually, what you don't know that most people do here to get food is that they didn't even go to the shops any longer. People go to private MIPYMEs. The MIPYMEs are like private stores or private shops. That's what most people do here. They go there, they buy whatever they need, because there are tons of people importing food from the United States, Canada, I mean chicken, and other places. And so for example, if I want to buy some food, I go to the private stores and I get stuff. It's going to be a little bit more pricey, but actually in the last podcast that I did with this guy that is going to be live on Sunday, stay tuned for that. We were talking about the Cuban food, and we talked about the prices. And so many people ask me, hey Alex, why is Cuba so expensive? And actually we were talking about prices, and Cuba is not expensive at all if you come with the dollars. And actually he said something that it was really cool, and it's very important that you know. He said, if you come to Cuba and you bring the euros or you bring the USD, and in fact, if you bring Canadian dollars, you can use them, but the valuation is not going to be the same. But if you bring the USD or the euros, you can actually pay by using those in the restaurants or the places where you can go. And actually, people are going to take it. They're not going to be, no, we can accept that. So you don't even have to exchange the money any longer. I mean, you can, because the exchange rate is going to be a little higher, but I mean, it's not something that is going to be like forced, unless of course you want to pay some taxi drivers where you need to use Cuban peso. And the reason why I say that Cuba is not that expensive is because if you come to Cuba and you get, I don't know, let's say that you're a couple and you go to a restaurant and you pay a bill of 10,000 pesos, it's gonna sound like a lot, because in Cuban pesos it's a lot of money. But if 10,000 pesos right now could be, I don't know, perhaps $20, so that's not that much. And it was the same in 2019 when Cuba was top for visitors. It was the same, $20 for a couple of beers. I don't know, you know, it's not that expensive. Of course, but it depends about your budget. If you want to pay more, you can go to a more expensive place. Thanks Alex, keep up the great work. Thank you, man, thank you. You're always commenting, you're always here and supporting the channel. Thank you so much for doing so. And yeah, so guys, the best way that you have to come to Cuba and do not feel that expensive trip is by using the USD and exchanging the money in the right way. And that's the best advice that I can give you. So those of you who are here, let me know any questions. I'm gonna try to answer all the questions. And if you're planning to visit Cuba, don't think about it twice. Go to alexr.emprende.com. I'm planning to change the website, the name, because of the SEO stuff, but I mean, at the end it's going to be the same services. So you can come and I can help you with that. We're going to be providing you the best cultural events here, so you can have a great experience. So thank you so much guys, it was a pleasure having you here. If you have any other question, you let me know here. So do you hug, and see you Sunday. It's going to be the new podcast. And actually I'm going to be doing more podcasts, because podcast is working really well. It's helping a lot of people, and I think it's the best way to communicate. Of course, that if I had a chance of going to any other place and document stuff that I can share with you, I'm going to do it. But the podcast is top. I mean, it's the best way that I have to tell you the things that I want to communicate, basically. So, and tons of people are watching it and listening to the podcast. It's working great. So it was a pleasure having you here, and see you guys there. Ciao.